First on the Gulf Coast with breaking news and weather. Fox 10 News starts now.
And hello, thank you for looking in on this Thursday. I'm Lenise Lagan.
And I'm Shelby Myers. We're glad to have you here with us for Fox 10 News at 4.
First today, a verdict has been reached in the capital murder trial of Ibrahim Yazid. He's a man accused in the 2019 kidnapping and killing of 19-year-old Anaya Blanchard.
The jury finding him guilty for murder and felony murder for the death of Anaya Blanchard. Since he wasn't found guilty of capital murder, he is no longer facing the death penalty.
Now, this is a case that brought about Anaya's Law in Alabama, allowing judges to deny bail for defendants charged with violent crimes. That's since Yazid was out on bail at the time of Anaya's murder.
Anaya's Law, because had it not been for that bill and keeping her namesake in the public eye, keeping her name being spoken, as he just mentioned, not only in Alabama, but across the country, to amend the law to ensure that those who just think they can kill or commit heinous crimes can easily walk out on bail.
Well, the 6 days of testimony saw 32 witnesses called by the prosecution. Yazid himself did not testify during the trial, and his defense rested without calling any witnesses of their own. He's set to be sentenced May 7th.
News from Spain, where investigators in Barcelona say they have found the body in the area where a University of Alabama student was last seen. We're talking about James Gracie.
Yeah, according to his family, 20-year-old Gracie went missing, visiting friends studying abroad while on a spring break trip in Spain. The University of Alabama student was last seen at 3 a.m. local time on Tuesday outside the city's Choco Club.
His mother saying police have recovered his phone after it was reportedly stolen. Police are looking in the waters near where he was last seen and reviewing security video as the investigation continues.
Well, take a look at this. An RT reporter narrowly escaping a strike in Lebanon as the U.S.-Israeli war with Iran intensifies. It comes amid a wave of attacks on energy production sites across the region. President Donald Trump denying that the U.S. knew of Israel's plan to target an Iranian natural gas field, the world's largest known gas reserve. But sources say he knew. The Israeli attacks prompting retaliatory strikes by Iran, including on a critical Qatari liquefied natural gas facility. The escalating attacks and Iran's effective blockade of the Strait of Hormuz, contributing to sliding global stock markets and a spike in global energy prices. The price of oil briefly hitting $119 per barrel today, as the U.S. average for a gallon of regular inches near $4 a gallon. There's that video of that reporter. Just so scary moments there. Still, the U.S. Treasury considering new measures to lower the price at the pump.
Oil prices will go up, the economy will go down a little bit. I thought it would be worse.
In the coming days, we may unsanction the Iranian oil that's on the water. It's about 140 million barrels.
The White House ruling out imposing a ban on crude oil and gas exports as it seeks ways to ease surging energy prices triggered by its war with Iran.
AI-generated content is becoming more realistic. We have seen images and videos used in all sorts of contexts, from parody videos to political ads to war propaganda. Experts are warning you cannot blindly trust what you see online. Lee Waldman explains.
We can't really trust our eyes anymore to authenticate media.
AI technology has been rapidly advancing, becoming more sophisticated and harder to spot.
We're seeing them used for anything from disinformation, influence campaigns, to perpetuating fraud and economic crimes.
In these early weeks of the war with Iran, video has popped up showing a barrage of Iranian missiles striking Tel Aviv, Israel. Another shows people fleeing an Iranian attack at an airport. And a third appears to show captured U.S. Special Forces personnel. All of these fake. Dr. Matthew Sam, a professor at Drexel University, explains we've seen these types of videos before with the Russia-Ukraine war.
Anytime you have a major news event, particularly a political conflict, we should expect to see fake and manipulated media showing up.
While AI is becoming more believable, Stam says his lab has developed technology to detect it.
When generative AI creates an image or your camera, there's processing that happens inside that algorithm or inside that device that leaves behind minute traces that our eyes can't see, but we can mathematically characterize.
Hani Farid with Get Real Security says the best way to avoid being duped online is to look to trusted sources like news organizations. In New York, I'm Lee Waldman.
And Lenise, on that topic of AI, we have a safety alert to talk about.
Very important, especially with it being tax season. Scams are on the rise. The BBB telling Fox 10 News about the use of AI and how it's adding an extra layer of a risk for consumers. Scammers are impersonating the IRS over the phone, even using AI-generated voices to mimic members of your family.
So scary. As more people file their taxes, scammers are also finding new ways to target victims, and experts say the tactics are becoming more advanced. Beth Smiley with Easy Tax Refunds says she sees the impact firsthand with several of her clients falling victim to these scams.
We have clients file and then it says they've already filed a return. We have clients file their children and say they've already filed. We have a client who never got their refund check and somebody had stolen it out of their mailbox. I had someone almost get scammed. They got really, really close to a scam. They gave out all their information and then they realized something's not right. They had to close all of their bank accounts.
Yeah, and so the IRS doesn't typically reach out over the phone, text, or email. Instead, they're going to send you a letter through the mail.
Experts say if you believe you have been targeted, acting quickly is your key. Stop all contact with the scammer immediately. Never send money or more money or personal information like that as well. And then notify your bank or credit card company right away to protect all of your accounts.
Alabama's open primaries are a step closer to becoming closed. The State House of Representatives voting in favor of a bill that would require voters to register with the Republican Party to vote in the Republican primary and register with the Democratic Party to vote in the Democratic primary. Alabama political correspondent Jessica Umbro is live from the State House. Jessica, what was the discussion like about this idea?
Well, the hours-long discussion definitely got heated at times. We had already heard of Democrats speaking out against this idea, saying that it would disenfranchise the state's independent voters. But today, we heard from some House Republicans who were also speaking out, saying that this was a bad idea. Now, the bill would require party registration to participate in a party's primary. Proponents say closing the primaries would add an extra layer of election integrity, making sure only people who are aligned with the party decide who makes it to the general election.
I think part of the reason why there's a frustration right now is because voters are like, well, I don't know what I'm really getting, and I can't really distinguish between X, Y, or Z. Well, I think when you have clarity of distinction, that allows the voter to make a clear choice.
But there was pushback from both Democrats along with some of Representative Yarborough's fellow members of the Republican supermajority. One pushing back on Representative Yarborough's claims of cross-party voting in the primaries with the intent of bringing worse candidates to the general election.
I don't think they're going to sabotage anybody, though. I really don't think they are. I think we have a good system right now.
We've always been encouraging individuals to participate in the process. We feel that our elections have been free and fair elections. But if we truly believe in that, we should allow citizens to choose where they want to vote and give them the options.
After the vote, Representative Yarborough said that he's cautiously optimistic that this bill will be seen and passed in the Senate this legislative session. Notably, right as things kicked off today, we heard from a few members of the House who expressed frustration, saying that there's a backlog of bills in the Senate that had already been passed by the House. Live at the State House, Jessica Umbro, Fox 10 News.
And the legislature will be on a spring recess next week, scheduled to meet again March 31st.
Well, let's take you outside. A live look over downtown Mobile today. It's been an absolutely stunning day out there. Not a cloud in sight in this view.
Yeah, I was expecting it to be a little cooler. Walking around downtown Mobile earlier today, I was pleasantly surprised. It was comfortable.
Yes, when you don't have as much wind out there and you have that amount of sunshine, if you're out in the sun, it really does feel warm. Over the next couple of days, I mean, we start spring tomorrow.
Yeah, that's
Officially
close.
official.
Officially.
Okay.
And it's going to feel like it, and in fact, we're going to feel above average for our temperature going into this weekend.
So sticky or just?
No, just
Okay.
nice and
Warm.
late spring warm.
Okay.
Spring break appropriate.
Good beach
Gold
weather.
star.
Yes.
Just don't get in the water, maybe.
Yeah, the water temperatures are a little cool. Let's look outside right now. 72 degrees in Mobile, 68 in Gulf Shores, 69 Pensacola. Again, if you're standing out in the sun, it feels a little bit warmer. So grab the sunglasses as you're heading out there, but really not looking bad. 72 degrees in Evergreen, 71 in Bruton. This forecast here is showing the afternoon temperatures going through the weekend into early next week. You see 80, 81, bumping all the way up to 83 degrees. Early next week, we are in our warmest part here where we're going to see those really quite warm temperatures. Average is 72, so yes, we are going above that for temperature. Look outside right now. Eastern Shore Toyota Camera Network. This is Dolphins looking down towards the mouth of the Mobile River and towards Mobile Bay. 69 degrees with a south wind at 8 miles per hour. Down in D'Iberville, it's the Scarlet Pearl there. 67 degrees, a really lovely view, and as we mentioned, not a cloud in the sky. Your current satellite radar picture there is just not much to see. Weather headlines, warmer days, also a very dry pattern to talk about. Do we see any rain? I'll have the details coming up.
The Battle House was buzzing with energy as communicators from across Alabama gathered for this year's PRCA State Conference. The panel, Beyond the Press Release, How to Find and Tell Stories That Matter, brought together journalists and storytellers to pull back the curtain on what really moves the needle in today's media landscape. I was honored to be among the panel there, happy to contribute to the conversation. It was a candid chat about the human connection at the heart of every great story and what communicators can do to bridge the gap between a pitch and what goes out over the air.
Well, this weekend, Pensacola Bay will be the stage for some of the fastest sailboats in the world. The GL52 Southern Series returns today. Fox 10's Stephen Moody has more on the great weekend ahead.
Sailors from around the world are back on Pensacola Bay this weekend, racing for the Pensacola Cup, bringing in some of the fastest high-performance sailboats you'll see anywhere, along with amateur and professional crews, including sailors with America's Cup and Olympic experience.
We're looking forward to having great racing Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and a lot of times you can come right down here to Palafox Marina and watch from land because we set, when the wind direction's in the right direction, we can set up right off the bulkhead here.
For former competitors who now spend their time around the sport, it's amazing to see how far we've come and what these boats are capable of.
What makes it so great is the boat itself. In my view, it's the biggest boat you can put out on a race course where everybody on the team is equally important. And, the culture you have to build, the teamwork you have to put together makes this better than any level of sailing.
And one of the crews competing is from the boat named Katana, and they're ready to work together as a team to get it done.
Katana is the sword of the samurai. And the interesting thing is the samurai believes it's both he and the sword that win in battle. So it takes a team and the boat to win.
Stephen Moody, Fox 10 News.
Check it out with our Eastern Shore Toyota Camera Network. This is the Bayway, and no major issues right now. We don't have anything on this side of the bay that's causing the issues. I will say it's a little slower on the other side of the bay, so let's just get right to it. You can see we did have one small incident popping up as you're heading eastbound into the Wallace Tunnel. It is a good bit before the Wallace Tunnel, a place about right here near Virginia Street. Otherwise, no other notable accidents. We had an accident earlier that was on the Bayway. That has been resolved, but there is still some residual slow traffic there if you're trying to head eastbound. So essentially from Virginia Street all the way through the tunnel and about to the Causeway exit eastbound Interstate 10, it's just running a little bit slow. If you're heading westbound Interstate 10 into the Wallace Tunnel, it is a bit slow as well, but not majorly so. And also Government Street heading to the Bankhead Tunnel is going slower as well. Otherwise, no major issues. Pensacola traffic seems to be doing okay. We'll let you know if anything changes.
Thank you, Nick. Also ahead on Fox News at 4, lace up your running shoes. Here comes Peter Cottontail, when you can hop on down the bunny trail live in a studio interview next. Also, buying a house can sometimes feel impossible, especially lately. We'll show you how a lot of people are getting certain things wrong when it comes to down payments. But first, let's go ahead and take a live look outside. Getting a look at the beach. Yes, spring starts tomorrow. Spring breakers, they have been here, and you can see them there at the beach, having a good old time. The weather's nice. Hopefully you're having a great afternoon.
He's back today going for win number 5.
I have good competition.
Tonight at 6 on Fox 10.
Welcome back. The Easter Bunny is on his way, and he's stopping by the annual Bunny Bolt 5K. Here with the information is Diana Brenton. Thank you for stopping by. And oh, there's the Easter Bunny, somewhat. Yes. I'm going to call him the Bolt Bunny.
That's right. That is exactly right. And
yes.
he's bolted over here to tell you all about, well, he won't speak, but he's kind of shy that way, but he's ready to go. He's been training for a long time.
We were talking about how quickly this is coming up. I mean, it feels like it's gotten here really fast for me. I'm sure it has for organizers as well.
Well, it was like yesterday we were in Mardi Gras, and now it's spring and we're ready to go. So the Bunny Bolt is our community race, and it really is designed to help bring awareness to being physically fit, and it's a family-friendly event. There's a 1-mile fun run walk for those who aren't, but the 5K is really becoming very popular, and we're really excited. Bolt leads the charge and has been, like I said, training for the year so that he'll be ready that day.
And we hear the word training, but I do want to let people know running, it does not have to be hard. And I'm not saying that because I run long distance. You know, everyone has a start. And that's where it begins, one foot in front of the other.
Right. My daughter recently finished a half marathon, but she started just doing a mile here and then 2, and it just grows from there. So it's a great event, and the weather, as you said, it sounds like it's going to be perfect. So we're going to hold y'all to that.
Okay, yeah, well, it looks great, you know, and if not, you know who to call.
Exactly.
To find out.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's talk about how people can get registered and get signed up.
So bunnybolt.org is the website. You can register there. You can also register at Pro Health Fitness Center in Mobile on our campus. The event takes place basically on our campus and in the neighborhood around it, and ends at 1806 Spring Hill with a post-party, a post-race party, and an Easter egg hunt and photos with Bolt. So it's a great event to kick off your Easter weekend.
Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about this Easter egg hunt as I fix your microphone here.
Oh, sorry.
You're fine. So how many eggs are we talking?
Lots of eggs.
Okay.
Yes, lots and lots of eggs with toys and treats and all of that in them. And we're going to have Jimmy John's as one of our sponsors. Gulf Distributing is our title sponsor, and they're going to be providing some hydration drinks for our attendees, and lots of other good treats. So we hope everybody comes out.
Bolt, you are always such a good sport. You've got so much going on, and you stop by here to get everyone warmed up for the race. So thank you both for stopping by.
Yes, thanks so much for having us.
We're out of time, but is there anything else you want to add?
Yes, the event is April 4th, Saturday before Easter, and it starts at 8 o'clock with the 5K. The 1-mile fun run starts at 9, and you'll be home in time to fix your lunch for the next day.
And kick up your feet and know that you did well, you got your steps in.
That's right, exactly, exactly. Thank you so much.
Thank you for stopping by. And of course, we'll have this posted on fox10tv.com shortly after this newscast with that registration link. That way you can get signed up. We'll make it easy for you. Share it with someone you know, run with a friend.
In your forecast, blue sky and nice conditions out there, definitely starting to feel like spring. Spring begins tomorrow, and it will feel like it with some very warm temperatures. Here's the 7-day outlook, just looking at the afternoon temps. And you see the numbers all the way up into the low 80s here. And we stay consistently in the low 80s through the weekend, into next week, and probably through next week as well. Average is 72, so these numbers are above average. So we think about the beach forecast for temperatures in the 80s. Now, on the coast, The water temperatures are down in the low 60s, so they're cool. So your temperatures are held down at the coast into the 70s, but with a nice little breeze down there, should not be that bad. And a low risk of rip currents into the weekend. Great news if you have weekend beach plans. So warmer days are ahead. It's a spring-like pattern that will continue, feeling a little more like late spring. A very dry pattern, though. This is an unusually dry pattern with no significant rain chances over the next 7 to 10 days. This does make for some wonderful weekend weather, though. The drought monitor has been updated. You can see here extreme drought again for portions of the eastern half of our area, Monroe, Conecuh, and Escambia counties in Alabama. We have a severe drought introduced for portions of Washington, Greene, and extreme northern Mobile County. Dry conditions are here, and they will get worse as we go through the week. Our rain chances are near zero. The rainfall outlook looking long term also looks rough. March 25th through 29th, drier than normal conditions expected. And in the near term, pretty much zeros across the board. I do have one small rain chance on Wednesday, around 20%. A weak system passes nearby, might squeak out 1 or 2 sprinkles, and that's about it. You can see this in the rainfall forecast from the GFS forecast model. Barely anything, laughable amounts of rain here on the GFS forecast model. So your watering forecast, if you are starting lawn care and trying to do all of this gardening, you need to start thinking about watering this week. Watering is going to be necessary through the weekend and into next week with no real rain expected. All right, your forecast overnight tonight, mostly clear. It should be a very nice night. Temperatures not as cold. This is 6 a.m. on Friday, and you see temperatures mainly in the upper 40s. Some folks staying in the 50s there overnight. Then on Friday afternoon, a warm one is going to feel warmer tomorrow than it did today. Temperatures up in the 70s. Then Friday night, we fall back into the 50s overnight. Not as cold again. We're on a warming trend with those morning lows. Saturday looks like a fantastic start to the day and a fantastic day ahead with temperatures getting up into the 80s. You can see this reflected in our 7-day outlook. Spring begins tomorrow with the equinox, and then 80s are on the board and staying on the board all the way through our 7-day outlook.
A lot of experts believe this is going to be another difficult year for prospective home buyers.
In today's Watching Your Wallet, consumer investigator Rachel DePompa speaks with an expert about the housing market for 2026.
Kate Wood, a lending expert with NerdWallet, says if anything, 2026 might be the year we come to grips with the idea that the housing market is not going to entirely go back to where it was before the pandemic. That being said, a new NerdWallet study found 1 in 7 Americans say they plan to buy a home in the next 12 months.
That interest does vary by generation, but it's not too surprising. The youngest cohorts are the most interested, the oldest cohorts the least, but a lot of that could simply come down to who already owns a home.
NerdWallet also found 34% of current homeowners actually consider themselves house poor. In other words, they are spending an overly large portion of their income on their mortgage and other costs related to home ownership.
The biggest thing that you can do to help yourself if you are coming into this year with the goal of homeownership is make sure that you are educated and that you understand sort of the basics of home buying. Something we found that's really striking is that only 37% of Americans know that a 20% down payment is not a requirement for buying a home.
Wood says the down payment is often the biggest hurdle for home ownership. 3% is actually the down payment requirement on most conventional loans, which is the most common type of mortgage loan. While making a large down payment is fantastic and 20% helps you avoid a mortgage insurance on a conventional loan, realistically, Wood says this is just not the down payment most people are making. 3% is actually the average right now. With this Watching Your Wallet, I'm Rachel DePompa.
When Fox News at 4 returns, a new Netflix series starring a Hangover star digs into gardening and the food we eat, with curious kids and eccentric experts leading the way. Stay with us to see just what we're talking about.
The Fox 10 Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The Fox 10 Pledge of Allegiance.
Look, they do have rooms with balconies.
Don't be passive progressive.
Lucky.
Switch to get good coverage and savings for yourself.
Okay, Disney hasn't forgotten the billion-dollar success of Lilo and Stitch.
It was very popular, and now it's announced a sequel to the live-action family film is due to arrive in theaters Memorial Day weekend 2028. And a decade after Incredibles 2 soared onto the big screen, Disney has slated Incredibles 3 for June 16, 2028. That's 3 weeks after the Lilo and Stitch 2 comes out.
I will like to see Incredibles 3.
Same. That is one of my favorites. Yes. I love the first one.
Yes.
The second one's good too. Just such good morals coming out of that movie.
Oh, for sure.
Too.
Yes. Lilo and Stitch.
Yes.
I'll let them have that.
Yeah, I'm not as big of a Lilo and Stitch fan. I was a little too old, kind of not in that range, but I understand the lore.
Yeah, oh, for sure. It's very popular.
For Incredibles 2, I just cried over the music in the movie theater.
Literally, I'm waiting for the music.
Yeah, the score from Incredibles 2 had Nick's attention, and it was good. I mean, that's one of the... Disney does a lot of things well, and that's just another one.
For sure. Well, from being between two ferns to learning how to care for them, Zach Galifianakis gets his hands dirty.